Anybody hear me? Anybody there? It says we're live. There we go. All right. Morrow, Chris, buddy. Right. Just trying to get some sorted out here. Everybody see me. Uh, I need to adjust any. What's up, Northwest? Hell yeah. What you brewing, Northwest? I know Chris Morrow had some brew stuff going on this weekend too. Chris, tell everybody what you've been brewing today. I'm gonna start getting water and stuff going here shortly. Can everybody hear me well? Good or not? All right, thank you, Northwest. Alrighty, so just real quick, I know there's not a whole lot of people in here watching, but we'll kind of go over it a couple times. So the recipe is in the description. Today, what we're brewing is going to be a pale ale. My brew club came together. We wanted to test some different hops, like as a hop comparison. So the two hops that I chose, they I was trying to use as an experiment to get that taste for like tobacco, dark leather, or tobacco and leather, and like all those kind of dark, heavier uh, types of esters and taste. But unfortunately, as is lately, I kind of been just brewing with my back against the wall. This isn't necessarily last minute brew day, but it's pretty close to it. I don't normally enjoy brewing as late to due date as possible, but that's just kind of been the theme lately. So I've got a few extra uh, days and stuff to be able to get things done. So I wanted to go ahead and take the opportunity and try to get it done a little more ahead of schedule than I have lately. So for my hop comparison, because the two hops that I was looking at, I just wasn't able to get them in time. I ended up going back into Saaz. I did a Saaz brew not too long ago. It was with the malt, uh, basically pale ale, with their grains and stuff, and, that thing ended up coming out a little bit more bitter than I had initially planned. Unfortunately, I ended up taking a 50-minute, boil addition and putting it into the 30s, so it ended up being like a 40 something IBU type, pale ale. It was a little too bitter for my taste, but I entered it into some things, and it ended up going to mini best of show in the American Pale Ale um, competition. That was a smash beer with the Tex malts. It was their kind of Maris Otter type malt. So that was pretty cool that it got that far up into competition. This one's going to be a little different. It's not a smash ale. We've got see here. I think we got some Munich malts. We got some row and some wheat malt. Yeah, 80% two row, 10% Munich malts, 5% Crystal 20, and 5% wheat malt for this one to add some backbone to it. Um, so I'm excited that this one will go uh go the way that it's going to go, and we'll see how it ends up turning out. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting beer. I've really have learned to like Saaz hops, so that'll be fun. So let's go ahead and get this thing going with putting our strike water in. I see we got 8 people in here so far. That's, pretty exciting. So, I challenge every 8 of you to like this video, and let's join in on the comments here. Let's get some, brew talk going. That's pretty exciting, and, I'll catch up on some comments in just a moment. Also to note, I'll be, videoing this as well, so, uh, if I'm adjusting the camera or something or another, camera, bear with me. Tomorrow, I'm probably not going to get a kettle shot with this one, because you were the reason I think that the stream ended last time. So, I'll be right back, guys. If you've ever wondered what it's like to, try to film a brew day or whatever for, like, a YouTube channel, you'll kinda see some behind the scenes stuff and shots and things like that. So if you guys got any questions, you're interested in starting a channel or whatever too, hey, put those comments. We'll get back to them in just a few moments. Though we got some other content creators that are joining in here too that'll be able to uh, help answer things for YouTube and brewing as well. Alrighty, so let's see here. Let's check check up on some comments here. Northwest, if you haven't said, what are you brewing, buddy? Let's see here. Chris Morrow. Yesterday bottled a gallon of apple cider. started up a 3-gallon batch of kombucha. I'm waiting on a 3-gallon batch for wheat honey ale to finish. Yeah, we talked about that. I knew you had like 3 or 4 brews that you were trying to kinda get all kinds of stuff going and finishing up and started and stuff. So, some of that seems, pretty, exciting, what you're doing. 3 gallons of, kombucha is, a lot more, than we normally do. We normally do it like a gallon at a time here. I think we've gotten about maybe, 2 or so going at any one time before. Dry hop your kombucha, that'd be interesting. Um, what would you dry hop with? Northwest or anybody really. I think, maybe some of those, like, fruity, ones, like the New World ones, like, maybe like a New Zealand hop or something might, be interesting, like, if you could bring some of that across. 1 gallon goes way too fast. It definitely does. Morning, Brewing Bad. How are you, buddy? Howdy, Fresh Country. Yes, please, smash the like button, and if you're not subscribed and you're new here, please subscribe. We try to do some interesting things sometimes, and really enjoyed, some of the live streams, hanging out with you guys and, getting into some shenanigans, with y'all. See, Northwest, have you ever read the Dark Tower series? Mm, yes, probably my fault. It was your fault, Morrow. Doppelbock, yes. I have yet to, do a doppel so I've assisted, doing some doppels and, doppelbock's one of those interesting ones that I really want to try here eventually soon. So, we'll get to that eventually. I really definitely enjoy them, but I wanna make sure that I do that one right, like, most of the, like, style guidelines and stuff I get pretty close to. I always feel like I'm just missing, like, that last little couple percentages of something to be dead on. Though I'm typically not necessarily like it's gotta be dead on the style, either, drink what you like and stuff. A lot of categories and styles I'm not super familiar with or I haven't brewed a whole lot of. So, when I did that Dunkel, in that video for the Dunkel, I kept saying Doppel, just had Doppel on the mind, uh, but, I really like, really liking some of those, German Bock beers. Brewing Bad, House the Claw Hammer, see here, Small Batch Brewing, Hope it's goody, thanks. Morning, Hops and Wrenches. Oh, you're brewing the same beer, Fuggles. Yeah, I saw you took on the Fuggles. That's gonna be, interesting. I've never used Fuggle hops either, We got 900 million hop variations, and sometimes you just kinda end up always going for what you know. You would, Morrow, you would. So, how's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? See here. Fresh Country, what do you like to brew? I don't ever recall seeing you in one of the live streams or anything. What's your experiences? I know Morrow a little bit. He and I, we talk a lot. Hops and Wrenches. He's a very good friend of mine. Brewing Bad and I, we talk a lot. Let's see here. Northwest and I, we talk a lot. J Hat, what's up, buddy? Brewed the Barbaro Pale Ale yesterday. Was that your entry into our little brew club hop comparison, J Hat? Uh, those that don't know Jay Hat, he and I, we were brew partners last year and, in our brew club, and so we got to brew some stuff together. He and I, we brewed, the Dunkelsbach together. We also brewed, Doppelbock for, our one of our competition, beers internally, and, we also brewed, the Italian Pilsners, separately, though. We kinda went a little bit different, directions with our Pilsners, our Italian Pilsners, and his recipe won best of chef or, people's choice, sorry, during that, internal competition. That was a really good beer. Um, I I kinda like mine more. Uh, it's it was just a different direction, so, though I don't particularly care for that style, so, um, anyways, what else is everybody up to? What do you got brewing, coming up? I think one of my next brews is going to be a, Bohemian Pilsner. I think that's what I'm gonna shoot for. And that's why I had all these saws on hand, originally was that's what I was gonna use for that. I'll fuggle it. So, our strike temp is 162 today, and we're mashing at 156 for 60 minutes. Um, like I said, I'm really interested in how this one comes out. Our water today was RO water, and then I've got uh, the, normal water additions for, basically a pale ale, yellow balanced one for today. The, um, water profile from Beersmith. See here, I was thinking Pilsner when I saw the Saaz hops. Yeah, so all the Saaz hops, like I said, were originally earmarked for that Bohemian Pilsner. Um, Now because I'm doing this, I'll have to restock. I actually have a lot of Saaz hops in the freezer. Probably should go ahead and use those up. See here. Yeah, so, for my Bohemian Pilsner, I planned on originally doing 100% Bohemian floor malted, uh, uh, malt, but, I was talking to another, brew club member, and, he has some, heritage, two-row to, contribute to that, and so I think we're gonna throw a pound of that in with the Bohemian, Pilsner to really hopefully kinda just transition that, and add a little bit more complexity and backbone to that beer, and, we're using the sauce hops for that, and then we'll be using, the Bohemian, lager yeast for it. Big a crispy boy yesterday, looking forward to bottling. Nice. I I've really have grown an appreciation towards those kinda crispy boy type, ales. Um, you know, um, I starting off, I was normally like a Hefeweizen stout type of guy, but, really kinda going through and playing with some stuff. My wife, head brewer, and I currently a saison next. Nice. South Africa, that's pretty cool. I I don't think South Africa, that's, pretty far away. Early morning, huh? 35 today. That's gonna be Celsius. So what is that? Probably about 100 plus degrees. Send the snow. I'm in Texas, so we don't have snow here right now anyways. I think it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So, um, anyways, saison, huh? Was that a saison a homebrew? I've never really done a Maybach. I did a Marzen, which I know they're kind of closely ish related. What's the what's the homebrew scene like over in South Africa? Yeah, we definitely had just enough to kill a bunch of stuff in the garden. I'm hoping that the fruit trees and stuff like that make it back around. The hops seem to be bouncing back, so I'm excited for that. Um, la About 2 years ago, we had a pretty hardcore freeze where we wrapped everything up, we tried to keep it warm and stuff, and we still lost a lot of stuff, so this year, we decided, like, either it's gonna make it or it's not, you know? 2 years ago, it got just cold enough for just long enough that there wasn't really anything that we could do, and so kind of the same aspect here, this year with the winter. Got a couple, new people looking like it's showing up, so, if you haven't subscribe, please hit that like button on this video. That'll help out tremendously, and, don't be afraid to, comment. Kick this temperature up a little bit, kinda get going here a little bit faster. So, what's everybody excited for in their new brew year? Anybody got any special, goals they're trying to achieve this year? I know you've got a couple, brew members here in my brew club, and we've all kind of discussed individual goals. Where, some of us, are members of a, national organization called Master Homebrew Program, and so, what it is it's like a extended, type of program where, uh, if you're competing, you have all these, like, little ranks, and, you get to rank up as you perform better, and so you get these nifty, cool little badges, and I'll go get one of mine here pretty uh, just kinda show off. But, I know some of them are planning on some rank ups and stuff like that. You get your own personalized, dashboard with it, so you get to track your performance through certain styles and style guidelines and stuff and see how you're doing. Um, my next rank up is gonna be pretty hard. Basically, I've got about 10 styles that I need to, like, focus on scoring, like, 38 and above, to be able to advance to my next rank up. So that's pretty cool. Currently, I believe I'm at the, next, or so my current, rank is distinguished, so that's, pretty cool. I still got a long ways to get to that master, and then they have grandmaster, uh, but there's all kinds of other awards, that are subcategories, like, they have a rank for, like, or a badge for, like, Prince of Pucker, which is, like, you've done so well with sours, and then there's, like, a Hop Hero, which is, like, IPA focused and stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool program. It's, pretty cheap. And, right now, they're doing a deal for homebrew clubs that, if you're a member of a homebrew club and your homebrew club becomes basically a member in itself of the program, um, they extend, free memberships to paid members of those brew clubs. So that's pretty cool and pretty exciting to see this program grow. Matt, we carry Shiner now at the store. Nice. Yes, Shiner Bock is one of those, Texas beers that I absolutely love. They're kinda like a little bit on the bigger scale of that and, of, like, craft brew and stuff like that, but, that beer is always near and dear to my heart. I used to always have a six-pack of Shiner Bock in my fridge. It's been a while since I've had some, though, so I should probably rectify that. Now it's gotten to the point where there's always at least a six pack of Boulevard in my fridge. Tank 7 is currently there, and my favorite beer there's Rye on Rye is in the fridge currently. So I probably will crack one of those open just after we reach boil. Yep. So yeah, we get charged import prices for Shiner basically. When you get to the restaurant and you order a Shiner Bock, it's like premium beer here. I've said for a while that I wanted to do a Shiner Bock clone or inspired beer. I guess the more that you learn about Shiner Bock, though, you realize that it's not really a Bock. It's more of like the Vienna lager type of beer. It's still really good though. So not gonna hate on them for that, but a lot of people I guess get confused about Shiner Bock being a Bock and it's not. Um, so what else has everybody got going on? Haven't seen any of those um, uh, homebrew uh, goals for the year. One of the biggest things that I plan on doing this year as far as homebrew um, like goals is I just need to get everything finished dialed in. I need to get a little bit better at everything, and I think I need to really focus on fermentation control, be it pitching my yeast or temperature control for that, selecting the right yeast for the right job. I've last year I felt like I did a pretty good job with that, um, and I just need to kind of finish dialing in all those like little nuances to finally push all my beers over into the better class, so to speak, for competitions. Most of my score sheets that have been coming back have all been like in the good category. I've scored a good number of like 35 and above. Um, those that aren't familiar with competing, most of these competitions they score out of 50, and I've heard it said that even Jesus won't get those last 5 points, uh, unless it's like a super, like, world-class example almost of that beer. Having said that, I've seen a couple of people score, like, 48s and 47s and still not medal in that category. I know some guys that have said that, um, like they've entered a smoke beer and, they used 100% smoke malt, and they were told that it had too much, uh, smoke, flavor. Fresh country, there's not much of a online YouTube scene, always inspired by the US international. Thanks, I really appreciate that. I tried to do a good mix of some, like, wild stuff and some kinda more traditional stuff. So I'm trying to kind of find my way as far as that goes for the channel. I plan on trying to do a lot more for the channel and growing it. We've had a huge influx of subscribers lately, so that's really helped me motivate and try to change some stuff up. If there's anything that you guys really want to see as far as the channel related going, let me know. I've got a few surprises coming up here pretty soon. We've got excuse me, some good collaborations coming up. One of the next collaborations coming up will be with Cascade Homebrewer. If you don't know him or his channel, go check him out. He does a lot of like investigative type brewing. So he'll say, okay, well, this hop or these um, malts, this temperature or whatever. So we talk to each other, and so we're doing like farmhouse ales and with different yeast strains. Same recipe. Um, Now, when it came to like temperature control and stuff, we just tried to do what we thought was best for those yeasts. So there's going to be a little bit of a variance with some of that. One of my brews, I used, some quake with, and, it was a pure grain, and I ran it up to, 95 degrees Fahrenheit for fermentation. Um, the other one, I brewed with, Imperial Rustic. That I felt like that yeast let me down once before, so I wanted to take another stab at it, and then I did something special with a secondary addition for that. I took some, home charred, wood chips, and I split batched that, and I put that in for secondary, to hopefully add some complexity. So on bottling day, when I took some samples off of that, that was really, really interesting, and I really hope that, a little bit of bottle conditioning will, do that thing, push it over the next little threshold there. It's a really interesting beer. I feel like with the so we'll see how that ends up. I'm fixing to ship those beers off to him, this coming week. He's already got his beers coming to me, so, look out for that video. That's gonna be a fun, comparison with, the yeast choices that he chose, and I chose. So, essentially, we're gonna have, like, let's see here, my 3 plus his 2, so 5 beers. So fresh country, being in South Africa, um, does, quake, yeast, uh, is it pretty prominent out there? Do you guys use that a lot in your brews? How do y'all handle, temperature control? Being here in Texas majority of the time, especially during the summer, it's really hot out here, so it's really hard for me to, chill my wort, so I normally practice, no chill, uh, with that, and, most of the time, I don't typically use temperature control. Last year, I kind of went out of the norm, and I did a lot of, temperature control for a few beers, and, I did a lot of, like, traditional yeast for those styles kinda kinda shied away a little bit more from, a couple years ago where I was trying to put Quake in everything. Getting, pretty close to our strike temperature. So, yes, ciders, we plan on trying to shift, for the channel. There's gonna be a couple, maybe ciders and meads come in, maybe a wine or 2. I've taken some stabs at some of those. Uh, they've never really came out all that great. Kinda more like prison winey, type of, taste to those. I think a lot of that was fermentation, um, with those. So, we're gonna buckle down and try to do some of that stuff, um, with the channel. That's gonna be fun, to try to learn some new styles and, fermentation with those. Sorry, let me make sure I don't overshoot, the strike time. We're, within about 2 degrees, so I'm gonna go ahead and, go handle this here real quick, get my bag, get my water stuff and all that. I'll be right back. We're right on target with our strike temp, so it's time to add these greens. Alrighty, so couple things to note that went pretty well. Um, we had like one little dough ball kind of being a little difficult to get out of the way and get incorporated into the mash. So other than that, everything went pretty smoothly with that part of everything. I should probably go ahead and set a timer for the mash. Mashing for 60 minutes today, and we'll check in on it in 15. There we go. So still on track with our temperature. Everything looking good there. Let's see here. Fresh Country, we've been playing with Lutra, great stuff. For that, it was Oslo. So I haven't tried any of those other than Lutra. I really like Lutra. Starting my bowl. Check it. Jack. Welcome back. Northwest. Getting ready to heat up my sparge. Okay. So, um, for those that don't know or didn't catch it, the last live stream that we did, Hops and Wrenches was with me for that. We did a rye Irish stout. We did 2 batches of that, so I need to check up on that today. It's been 2 weeks of fermentation for that. I need to see where we're at and start making some decisions. For the rye Irish stout, what we were doing was, we were gonna split batch or we did 2 batches of that. And so one of those batches we were gonna split up and do, uh, some, oak wood, additions. I charred here and, I had soaked those in some Jameson Stout, cask whiskey, to hopefully add some complexity to that. And then the other half of that, we were gonna throw some coffee beans on. So when I was talking to Chris Morrow, uh, about this beer, I kind of was thinking, of this weird yeah, after talking to him, he had suggested something and it threw on a light bulb to me. So what we ended up doing was we took, both those, batches of grains and we put them into my cooler mash tun, and we ended up, basically doing a pretty mild brew on that. uh, Hops and Wrenches and I know that stream kinda cut out a little early, and man, that stream just went pretty long too. But, so, uh, for those that don't know or wanted to catch up on that project, so it came out to be, 1028, wort after we basically remashed those grains. We ended up throwing in, some additional 2-row, um, and some Crystal 45, some wheat malt, and some, black patent, malt into that. And so, after that, I told Chris because he gave me the inspiration to do that, he was gonna be able to make that beer, so we've been talking, kinda off and on all week, and he finally came up with a name for that beer, and so I'm gonna let Chris, tell everybody what the, name of his inspired beer was. The, um, OG for that beer was 1038, 1036, so I think we're looking at a pretty, like, sessionable stout, to go along with these, rye Irish stouts that we'll be drinking here, hopefully before too much longer, for that. I like to do the rye Irish stout, on New Year's Day and, get those basically ready for, St. Patrick's Day. So, uh, that's gonna be a fun little project, and, Hops and Wrenches, will be coming over, Tim, he'll help me do the taste testing on all 3 beers, and, Chris, is going to receive some of those, session stouts as well, so that'll be fun, to see how that project I'm excited for all 3 beers, there. The Irish Stout is a pretty, favorite beer of mine, to have here. I always seem to have some kind of stout ready to drink, so, that one's just an interesting take. I don't really brew it any more than that one time a year. It's just kind of a special, brew for me, you know what I mean? Anybody else got a special brew that's near and dear to them that they only brew, occasionally once a year or anything like that? I'd be interested to see what, everybody's go-tos are too. So if you brew one that's, like, pretty regularly, available for you, uh, you know, put that in the comments. I normally like to have, this Lithuanian farmhouse on hand. I really love that yeast. It's just turned out to be one of my favorite beers, one of the favorite beers that all my friends like to drink. We, it's been our summer jam for, like, the last 2 years. I end up always having some more still just kinda left around. I really like that beer. I like what the yeast does, to that, grain bill. I've used the same grain bill, though, for a lot of, like, farmhouse and saison comparisons. I've turned it sour, with some mixed fermentation. I've done, uh see here, I've done Saisonstein with it, I've done, the rustic, um, I've done a lot of the farmhouse and saison type yeast on it. I also use that same recipe for raw ales, and, I'll throw, some Voskweik on that, and, that beer is really successful for me. I really enjoy that beer, doing the hop teas for it and stuff. It just kinda breaks up the monotony of normal home brewing. You get to practice in, like, kind of older traditional, things the way that things were done before commercialization of brewing was. And there you go. That's the name of the session stout there, Chimera, small stout. When he said that, I was like, "How can we not go with that name for that beer?" I really liked it, I think it's fitting. Uh, so, everybody congratulate, Chris on not only, an awesome day or, an awesome idea, but also an awesome name for that beer. You know, I talk to Chris, shoot, probably, I don't know, 3, 4 times a week. He's just always there with, "Hey, what do you think about this?" It's nice to have somebody else that doesn't necessarily brew to styles and bounce ideas off of. So that's pretty fun. Um, to note though, I Northwest had a pretty interesting video the other day on, pH of mashes. So who all here measures, pH of their mashes? We kinda got in a little discussion in the comments on his video. I don't normally, measure pH of any of my wort or mashes or anything like that. The only time that I do take a pH reading is when I'm, kettle souring, and I like to know the base, so that way, as I'm tracking, the lacto and souring there, I know kinda how far down we've come, so I can track that. I know a lot of people like to do, like, kettle souring, they'll throw some acidic malt or something like that, um, um, some other to drop the pH of that wort for the yeast and all that. I don't, typically about 5.3, 5.4, starting pH for the wort, and pitch that lacto on it. Um, Normally, it comes down to about 3.5, 3.4. I really, really want to push, one of my next hours down to 2. I think that that's, my next, like, goal or ambition for a kettle sour. I think, that'll be pretty interesting for that. I, I did an experiment one time with a kettle sour, and, I took a kombucha SCOBY and used that as my souring agent. So we went down from 3 or 5.3, 5.4 down to, it stalled out at pH for, 4.0, and, so I had previously done an experiment where you, like, robbed some lacto from, some wort, and, I redid that lacto previously in a different batch, and, that thing went down from, like, 5.3 to 4 in about 8 hours, and that was really interesting to me. Well, I still had some of that laying around, so I had to end up pitching that into that kettle, SCOBY, just to get it down to where I needed it to be, so I could pitch my yeast, and, the idea was that hopefully that SCOBY would help create, a little bit more complexity to the beer and, something more along the lines of, like, the mixed fermentation, the way that those things kinda get unique and stuff, and so that was a pretty interesting experience, with the SCOBY Sour. Like I said, it's not before I pitched that 2nd edition of the Lacto, and then it dropped down to 3.4 in about 3 hours, so it's time to go ahead and move that in full, all those bacteria from the lacto and everything else that SCOBY had contributed to, and then, we fermented it out with, like, some, German ale yeast, I believe, which was like a 3rd generation thing, I think, and, after it was all said and done, it definitely had some complexity to it, that's normally lacking, I think, in sours, but it was still kind of, like, dull, like like 100% well-rounded, with that, and so I think that I need to attempt that experiment again. I need to sit down and really think about, kind of, what to do with it. Maybe I need to co-pitch the SCOBY with the, lacto and give it enough time, to play around nicely. Who all here is done sour sour beers? I know that, not a super favorite of a lot of beers. I there's a little bit of an intimidation factor with hops and riches, yes. So, the recipe called for, Magnum, or basically you can use any any clean bittering hop. Magnum is you're probably gonna find that Magnum probably offers the cleanest, uh, bittering, across the board, and for my efficiencies and all that, what I'm doing is point 0.6 ounces of Hallertau Magnum, 14% for the 60-minute edition, and that's gonna be worth, uh, 29.4 IBUs, for the bittering there. And then our next basically addition for bittering that we're gonna gain some IBUs for will be, on mine anyways, I'm throwing 2 ounces of Saaz at 3.4% for a total of 11.8 additional IBUs. Technically, you're not supposed to really gain any IBUs at Flame Out edition. I'm sure it's probably worth a couple IBUs or points something. And then the dry hop, you really shouldn't gain any IBUs from either. You're at that point, the Flame Out and the dry hop, you're really focusing on the characteristics of those hops. Good, you're using Magnum. Bittering is always added at the start of the boil. So you're going so, like, yeah, your bittering addition is always your longest. If you're doing a 30-minute boil or 15-minute boil or something like kettle sours, you typically only have 1 hop addition, and, normally add those in at, like, 15 minutes, uh, 15-minute addition for that, like, clean bitterness because, like, with kettle sours, the bitter and sour don't really mix well together. So, you're just trying to gain some good use, 1 for protection, uh, for so the yeast can focus on what they're doing, and hopefully it'll kill off all those nasty wild yeast that you could have potentially collected. But also, it's all about that part of the balance of the beer. Um yeah, the bittering hop is always gonna be your longest addition. Like I said, you're still gonna probably accumulate some kinda IBUs at, like, a amount, but it's probably so minuscule that the software says 0. Our timer went off, so let me go ahead and check, on our mash real quick, stir it up, get that thing all incorporated and check the temperature. Other than that, let's, get some chat going, and I will check on it when I get back. I hadn't seen anybody say that they've, attempted any kettle sours or sour, fermentations. Let's change that if you haven't done it. Let's talk about that when I get back. Alright, let's see here. Northwest, I heard an interesting and I feel accurate statement on bittering hops that they don't all hops are equal. Yeah, I definitely agree with some of that anyways. That mash bitter I did with Pale Malt, I used all soft hops. It took quite a few for a 60-minute edition. I wanna say I think it was like 2.5 ounces, 3 ounces of Saaz, and then, uh, and I did that accidental 2 30-minute editions, and then like a flame out, I think it was. So that was fun. Do we need to give you so the match pedal, deal, if you watched, that live stream for the Irish Stout, I kind of cracked it. I broke it. It's got a nice little split there. Um, I killed a wasp with it, while we were mashing. Um, that was fun. I do have a wooden mash pedal. I only break that out in special occasions. I don't know why I'm so hesitant to use it. It's like one of those things that's too nice, I feel like, for me to use kinda deal, which is silly, you know? I got it, uh, at a local homebrew store. I got it from, Hop and Grape, uh, before they closed down, unfortunately. But now I'm lucky that I've got a new homebrew store, local at the brew hub. So those guys are awesome. My mother-in-law, she's a woodworker, so she's working on a special, wooden back pedal for me, that I plan on using, as soon as I get it. So that's gonna be fun. See here, they have different levels of acids though, right? So, the dogs are running around, so if you hear them barking, they're probably barking at squirrels or there's a dirt road that has all kind of thing that they tend not to like to drive down that road. I so this Northwest, so this mash pedal here, came in the Northern Brewer, starter kit that I got, like, 7 years ago, and, it's kind of it's just old familiar, and so that's why I kind of been, to give up on it, and I kinda do regret killing that wasp with it, so but once I get this thing placed, this I feel like this has gotta go hang on the wall somewhere once it's, cleaned up. I don't think there's really any reconditioning it, though. I say that, now I'm wondering if I could do some plumber's tapes and some stainless steel screws or something like that, really, redneck it up.
JB Weld on there.
Mhm. I don't know if JB Weld is food grade, though. Let's see here. Yeah, the lower the alpha acids, the more you need. Um, anybody growing hops, in the group? I've got 2 hop, plants, both the same variety, Neo Maximus multi-head. I chose those hops because, they're kind of more individuous around these parts. They're kinda set to be a little bit more drought, tolerant, and disease resistance and stuff like that. I did battle, some, pests, on one vine, there for a little bit last year and, some, moldy mildew, stuff, uh, but I think that they're gonna bounce back pretty good. I'm looking at trying to add a few more hot plants, this year to the garden. I'm thinking what I wanna do, and of course, originally, when I sat down and was like, "Oh, let's add some more hot plants," I'm, like, looking at 7 different varieties and stuff. I'm like, "I'm gonna get them all." But I think I've narrowed it down to, cluster. I use a lot of cluster, and so, I think that that'll be fun. Those multi-heads that are kinda lower, alpha acids, and so I think that those may be interesting to, with saison farmhouse type ale with the I think that the alpha acids and the flavor profiles will be really good. Getting those stupid Neo Maximus, hot plants though, man, those things are freaking hard to get a hold of. Um, I wish I knew of some wild hops that grew around here to be able to add, but I don't think that I'm sure they do grow wild around here, I just don't know where, and, so, Lord help us all if I ever find a wild hop plant, 'cause I'll probably dig it up from and then I'll probably try to, strip that thing down, as much as I can. So, seeing as how the sour thing, kinda went sour here as far as the discussions went, nobody's really let's see, I I don't really have too much ready to go here, um, with, some ideas. I did have some stuff wrote down, when Tim was over, so I just figured I'd let this conversation go wherever it went. My house looked like a pain in the ass. Yeah, I plan on just trying it out, see what happens, you know what I mean? Hopefully, hopefully it'll come across good, you know what I mean? Who does what for their wart clarification, and boil? I primarily use Whirlfloc tablets. Um, so, I primarily use Whirlfloc tablets. I know some people use, like, um, Irish moss, for more clarification, and, I've never used that. I think it's the same more or less, like, compounds and materials that go into a Whirlpool tablet. Um, yeah, and I know a lot of people use gelatin post-fermentation, whenever they go to keg or bottle to help. So, anybody else use anything different? Is there anything different other than those 2 that people use? I know, like, a lot of my brews because they're, like, no chilled or whatever, people say you can't get clear beer out of that. I disagree with that. I think I've seen that time and time again in some of the videos that we've done here. Anybody, use any of the wet hops like, Northwest is talking about? Um, I know a lot of hop material, so you've probably gotta really concentrate on, like, Whirlpool part of it and stuff like that, try to gather all that stuff up. I use a lot of hop baskets, plan on using a hop basket today. Um, primarily if I'm using an ounce or over tops, I'll use a hot basket, uh, because I'll throw that to the chickens. So this brew, we've got 3 ounces of total of Saaz plus the point 0.6 of an ounce, for Magnum. See, I'll even throw a Whirlfloc tablet in a stout. I know I agree with you, like, it doesn't taste any better. I think it does present a little bit better, um, and, like, us as home brewers, if you're the only one enjoying it, like, what does it matter? But I do like to share my beers a lot with a lot of people, and that's kinda one of those things that a lot of people kinda say, you know, um, especially, like, back when bottle conditioning a lot, you know, you'll get that yeast cake at the bottom of the bottle, and so, uh, um, yeah, um, like, kegging, though, will help clarify, though, too, over time. Does it matter more for competitions? Yes. So if you are entering competitions, clarity is worth some points. I think overall it's worth 3 points, so only thing that you're missing, you still have, technically you still have, what, 47 points to play with, so you're not gonna get those last 5 points anyways, majorly speaking. But, I think that, Whirlfloc Tablet doesn't really add that much to the cost of the brew, and same with Yeast Nutrient. Overall, you get a little bit better, more rounded beer, but if you don't do it, like, I'm not gonna hate on you, like, I totally understand, but, it's one of those things, like, just throw it into the bowl. It's like, if you buy it in bulk, it's probably worth a couple cents to the brew day. So, you know, I'm doing a lager. Um, so it'll probably gain its own attributes, for it, but I think really dealing with a plant of fun, right? I think if you kinda start your own, like, breeding program, I don't know how many hops that would take, hop plants to take to do, but if you started your own breeding program of fuggles and, you kinda start selecting, things out, it probably would take you, like, maybe 7 generations of plants to go through, I would imagine, before you were able to say, "Okay, this is my own Fuggle hop." I know a lot of the crossbreeding, though, to come up with new hop varieties, so they'll take, like, a a noble hop or something like that, and they'll cross it with, like, a new age hop and kinda start to really express those things. I don't really know with the programs, like, for New Zealand, how we got all those. I'm sure they all started off with, like, the noble type hops, and then they started crossbreeding them with other hop plants, that were established, and really started to hone in on, "Okay, well, this plant, for whatever reason, is throwing these esters and stuff like that. This is where we're gonna start shifting," and then they try to lock it down. I know a lot of the same principles apply, like, with, like, say, tomato plants or whatever, how they come up with a new variety there, they just do a lot of crossbreeding. I don't I'm sure that there's some GMO type stuff, though, that happens with, those stuff, and so it's not always just this naturally natural selection with that, you know? Um, I'm not really planning on, like, crossing, like, say, if I get some cluster plants with those, Maximus, I don't plan on, like, really breeding any kind of crossbreeding between those, or anything, but that would be kinda interesting. I just don't see myself having the time or the patience to really dedicate a program like that just 'cause I'm so scattered right now as it is, I'm part of a lot of different, projects and things right now, and it's borderline almost too much, uh, some it's nice to just go out to the garden and say, "This is just garden time." It is what it is, you know what I mean? Have you seen them making GMO? Yes. Yeah, so, I haven't really well, so I did play with one, for the hazy, competition that my brew partner and I a couple of years ago did. We did a hazy IPA, and golly, what was that? It was Omega. I cannot remember the yeast right now, but it was meant for hazy IPAs, and so we used that, and we won the competition, and we got a commercial release out of that, so that was pretty cool. Uh, saw that Omega is doing, like, a lot of GMO type stuff, and I think they had that Bonanza that looked pretty interesting, for me to wanna try out. I think that that would be pretty fun to throw in a Hefeweizen or something like that. But, even like yeast, I know they do a lot of natural selection too. If you use a commercial pitch like, it's gonna be, they select all those out. There's not really any pure strains that you're gonna be able to buy from, most of the yeast, um, people because some of those, clients, they have, bacteria, or they're crossbred with other, white strains, a lot of those pure strains from Clegg, they've got probably, anywhere between 3 and 7 other different strains of either bacteria or, yeast in them. So, there's a lot to be said with that. Typically, I think, normally I'm against GMO type stuff, especially when it comes to the garden. I don't know why I'm so willing to make those concessions with, like, yeast and hops. I guess I don't see nearly as much of a problem, with them. I don't really know. It's a interesting thought. I've never really thought about it too much. Um, so, yeah. How do you feel about, GMO yeast and hops, guys? Let's, talk about that. Anybody have any strong opinions one way or the other there? I guess I don't see it making too much of a difference, even though it is something that we're ingesting, I guess I think I assume things like oil and fermentation would, take care of any of those off-putting things that are normally associated with GMO type stuff, other than, like, contract farming and things like that. You think that they're banned in Europe, like, GMO altogether or GMO yeast, GMO hops? I know that there's a lot of problems with the agriculture agriculture aspect of that. I know that, like, here in America, like, if you have, uh, a corn farmer that's using GMO corn, they're not allowed to, give anybody that have the contract, that. But, uh, the same can be said for a lot of these, like, hop, varieties, they get locked down under, like, patents and contracts and stuff like that, so you'll never be able to home grow some of your own favorite type hops. Can't think of any that come to mind right off the top of my head. I know it seems like, some of those Neo Maximus, hops are done that way, so unless you can find a wild variety and take it home yourself, a lot of those are locked down. Uh, you're just never gonna be able to do it, and it seems like, at least as of right now, a lot of those, like, Neo Maximus and some other hop varieties are, going away, uh, be it that they're not popular or there's too much of a pain to, keep going in people's projects. My timer just went off, so I'm gonna go check the mash again real quick, check our temperature, see where we're at, and, let's talk about, I guess, the GMO stuff. I love you too. See here, so I think they are banned, technically, though, crossbreeding plants is GMO. I'll agree with that to some extent. I think, like, natural selection being guided by humans is a little bit different than going in with a microscope and, you chemicals and other procedures to, uh, take advantage of, um, things. I think part of the GMO, um, complaints anyways or safeguards is, like, cloning, uh, food, cloning, like, sheep and stuff like that for food, cows for food, is looked down upon, right? And so, I think, like, a lot of, like, the anti-GMO type things are like, "Hey, just one step away," kind of aspect. Um, though I don't really have a strong opinion on a lot of that. Um, I I not to get too political or anything like that, I definitely do think, though, the more natural, our food sources are and stuff like that, the better off that we are, you know, get GMO personally. Agree with the statement, non-GMO doesn't carry much weight. Bigger issue is the copyright and patent lockdowns. That's kind of my biggest thing is taking selection choice away from individual, uh, not to get, too political with that, I try not to let those things, come across on the channel here. I don't be put into any kind of category just because 'cause we're all hungry, but it does have an effect, and I'm sure the longer that we go on here, kinda more effects that those things are gonna have, unfortunately. So, you know, I know most of us use things like, RO water, for, brew days. Some people use spring water. Some here are still using, tap water for all their brews. I'd be interested to know that. I know one of the biggest change-ups that I did, personally for brewing was, switching over to, like, RO water, uh, going and, using all these, like, water profiles and salt additions. I think that really helped improved, my brew day, my beers and brews and stuff. I think that, you have a lot to gain from the water chemistry is something that I kind of, lack on a little bit, like, not a chemist, so, like, all those compounds don't make a whole lot of sense, you know, but, things like brewing softwares and stuff just make it a little too easy to be able to do, you know, all those kind of additions. Anyone crack open a beer yet? It's, almost noon here now, well, almost 11:30 now, wanting one, but I'm not gonna do it, so I'm looking forward to that. Who all's still here? I know, I see Northwest and Morrow are still here. Hops, Wrenches, you still here, buddy? Bag, you still here? Bill Nova, howdy, buddy. I see you subscribed, the other day. How are you doing? What do you brew? Tell us about, your brewing style stuff. Anybody else hadn't commented yet? I see we got a couple new people in here. Tell us hello and what you're brewing, how you're brewing, what's some of the things that, you find better, to use for brewing. tap water all. So typically, if you can drink your tap water and it tastes fine, you're probably okay to brew with it, you know? Uh, my water here currently is hard, got a lot of stuff in it, so, um, we drink it out of the refrigerator, dispenser, it's got a couple filters, something like that. It would probably take me a long time to collect the refrigerator. I have thought about, putting in an RO system here, but RO systems are kinda one of those things that are a little intimidating to me just because it seems like you're either gonna spend not enough or way too much on a system. So I don't know where the middle ground is or what kinda system. So if anybody's got any hints. I've been suggested a few things. I haven't really looked into them quite yet. Um, I know, some brew club members, they just all started recently putting in RO water systems into their spaces. So, I'm kinda giving it a little bit more wait and see, really start trying to track that down. Those systems, though, they seem to take up a lot of room, and so that's one of those things, like, I'm kinda debating about, like, where do I do it? How do I put it, together and all that other stuff. Nice. So Bill's got a grandfather, 2nd generation. He's got an IPA and Pale Ale in the fermenter and a Czech Pilsner, coming up on his, next year, it looks like. That'll be exciting, huh? I don't know if you caught it earlier, my next brew is probably gonna be a Bohemian, Pilsner. Uh, Hops and Ridges just started the boil. Nice. You're a little bit ahead of me. Let's see here. We're probably another good 20 minutes away from starting our boil. So, excuse me. I'm still trying to get over being sick. Sick off and on last week. That's kind of been something we've all kind of been going around being sick. So the difference between Bohemian and Czech Pilsner, I believe technically a Bohemian and Czech Pilsner are more or less the same thing. Um, it really comes down to the yeast for the most part. They all should pretty much be right around the same ABV, I believe. I think just Bohemian Pilsner is another word for, like, Czech Pilsner, maybe some kinda small nuance. I really haven't dove off enough into it. I just know that I've got Bohemian Floor Malted Pilsner, and I've got Bohemian yeast, and so, I'm going to, call it a Bohemian Pilsner. I'm an IPA guy, but I've been on a big Pils kick lately. I've grown more and more appreciation towards Pilsner. I used to not be a big Pilsner person. I wanted flavor and expressions and all this other stuff. I think I still would choose almost any beer over Pilsner, if it came down to a Pilsner and something else. But a good Pilsner is something to, be, really, excited about, if it's done right. There's not a whole lot to hide behind, gotta nail it. Yeah, Czech pills use mostly Saaz. I'm gonna be using Saaz in that Bohemian Pilsner, and it's fitting. Um, yeah, I don't know. We will research that after maybe our next kettle check there. So, anyways, If you're new here, to the stream today, so far, we're still mashing in. We've got about another minutes left in the mash. The mash here, another 5 minutes or so. Make sure that we're still tracking along pretty good on our temperature. Give it a good another mix up. Get all that done. I'm sure most of our viewers are already done anyways. Um, I know a lot of people, or it used to be a thing where people would do iodine tests on their mashes to see if their conversions were done. Does anybody do that? I've seen some people doing it, on YouTube and stuff, and I've seen it suggested in some online forums and whatnot. Um, so I've never done it though, but I also don't check the pH of my mash either. So there's that. If you're new here, make sure you like the video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, just joined us, be sure to comment here on the chat here. We'd like to know who you are, what you're doing, what you're brewing, and all that. Small batch, I have some and I did a few times. Yeah, I don't know. I just never really have seen the need for it. I figure like if you're gonna mash for 60 minutes or 75 minutes, technically most of our conversions are supposed to be done within the first, 15, 20 minutes of mash anyway. So if if you are mashing properly with your malts and stuff, then you're probably good to go. What so I don't know though. Just kind of interested to see if he's really done any of that iodine test with their mash. In your experience, Northwest, with your iodine test on the few times that you've done it, if it's not converted, is there an app you've let it done overnight? Only mine hasn't fully converted. Yeah, I haven't done an overnight batch yet. That's something that is kinda interesting to me. I'd like to give that a has anybody else done an overnight batch? Uh, comment here in the chat or anything, else that would be interesting to discuss. I'm gonna check on this mash again real quick, and then we're in the home stretch of the last 15 minutes or so of the mash. Uh-oh, that's all Maro's fault. So for, the overnight mash, aspect, my camera fell just a minute ago, so try to straighten back out. I think that's about where it was at before. So, the overnight mash thing is interesting to me, and I suppose that you would probably need to have an electric, setup really to take good advantage of that. Of course, you've seen me, uh, relight this mash to make sure that I stay within that proper, temperature threshold with my current setup here. Um, I know some people take, like, those insulating bags and stuff like that, wrap up their, their mash tun and stuff overnight. I've seen that before. There we go. I think that's better. I guess I could probably do something like that. I don't have an electric setup, at least not yet. Um, Electric setups, kind of things that I'll get to eventually. Um, I liked kinda like the way that claw hammer system looks. I just don't have a dedicated electric, place really to put that currently in our current setup. Probably have to wait for us to remodel a room or 2 around here to make sure that that all gets there, and gets right. See here, my pre-boil gravity today is way high, unless it's a false reading on my refractometer. I'll do a real or for overnight mashes, some people just insulate the pot overnight. Yep, use a claw hammer and just leave it. Yeah. Mashing, the grains, I think, my friend, I don't know if he's still in here, Jay Hat, he just did, oatmeal I think he did the same, thing with his grains as well. I think he, put them in kinda like late mash or whatever for that. If you're still here, Jay Hat, let us know, what you did there. I'm pretty sure that's what you had done. Man, I keep forgetting to set this timer. I'm sure we're done though with the conversion. I just something about it, it's a 60-minute mash. I've gotta do it. So with your if you're gonna do an overnight mash, right? Small batch experience when you throw those dark greens in, like, you doing that basically the next day, or do you just throw them in kinda overnight towards the last part of the night? How do you handle that aspect if you're doing something with a bunch of dark greens? Excuse me. Yeah, next day I put them in for about 20 minutes. Okay, that makes sense. Could see those things probably getting pretty astringent, sitting overnight and into a mash, throwing, some astringency and stuff. I true make it work for too long. I guess that's, the fear anyways. I know a lot of people with dark beers, they'll do that. I haven't done that yet. I've got a long list of things that I haven't that I'm eventually gonna get to. One day we'll get there. I like to kinda add small little improvements to, my brew days and stuff like that. Speaking of changing things up, I normally no chill, today. I'm gonna be chilling the wart, it's Sunday. I don't feel like running home tomorrow during lunch to do anything like that. Uh, so we're gonna chill this wort down today and, hopefully be able to pitch yeast on it, fairly quickly, today as well. Um, with the time out addition, stuff like that, I don't wanna leave these hops in there for too long. I wanna try to do everything that I possibly can to try to make this come out as clean and clear as possible, with this brew day. So we'll be doing that. Even though I've said before that, no chill kinda gets the the joke about you can't make clean pork. But this proving that, I feel like plenty I just wanna do everything that I can to make sure that this thing's gonna be the best that it can be today. So we looks like we got a little bit more of an influx of some people. Say hi in the comments, if you haven't yet. if it's been a while since you've, said anything. What do you look forward to, brewing, coming up? So, we've got some, people that were brewing, Czech Pilsner and some other things, coming up here pretty soon. No, I don't. I've never messed with gelatin, honestly, to tell you the truth. Once I transfer from my fermenter, I just the beer is what the beer is, you know? Like I said, I normally will add that Whirlfloc Tablet for, clarity, and, that's about the only thing that I normally do. That Italian Pilsner cleaned up after it sat in the Keezer, a month after the, competition that we did for Backfish Brewing, so that was pretty cool, but, yeah, I don't typically, uh, do anything else, you know, done some lagering and stuff like that, kinda, like, let it set around. When I do that in the all-rounder, the 10 twister, cooling coil, got a cooler that I use for, cool fermentation and lagering, for that, so that seems to kinda help clarify as well. That Italian Pilsner, the first couple pints that I had of it, or the pint that I had of it here before the competition, it was kinda cloudy, and then when I got to the competition, the first several pours were cloudy, it started to clear up, uh, there, and then, when I brought it back, hooked it all back up, it just transported shook it all up again, so, once I said a month in the Keezer, in the kinda clearing it the rest of the way, I felt like it could've probably been just a little bit clearer, but there was, the dry hop condition, I think, kind of kind of ended up adding, a little bit more haze to it than I would have preferred, uh, but, uh, other than that, it kinda was what it was. So Bill, where are you out of? Tell us a little bit more about yourself. Northwest and Morrow, Hops and Wrenches, Brewing Bad here, and J Hat are all kind of known to me a little bit. Where are you out of? Do you compete in any of the homebrew competitions or circuits or anything like that? I know you say you're primarily a IPA guy. Are there any other styles that interest you? Northwest is, kind of like a darker beer guy, he does a lot of, like stouts and stuff like that, I think he just recently did a Doppelbock not too long ago. They looked really interesting, so, I'll probably refer to his recipe for some kind of, guidance, whenever I try to go tackle that. J Hat also did a Doppelbock, so I'll probably try to see, kinda the grains and things that they use to, do some stuff there. Well, I think that thing's just finally done. So for those that don't know, we have plenty of gardens around here. We try to subscribe to that, like, kinda homestead type lifestyle. We've got chickens, in the back here. Uh, we were a little noisy earlier, they know brewing, um, so the, we'll get these grains here in just a little bit. Of course, we get the eggs from them. We've got some vegetables, in the ground. We've got some, fruit trees out front. I've got some cactus that, hopefully, eventually next year, we'll be able to get some prickly pear fruit from them, that I'll brew with. But I still have about 50 pounds of prickly pear that I need to brew with and figure something out with that. That'll probably net me a couple brew days at least with those. I'm thinking that I'm probably gonna do some kind of farmhouse saison type thing, with that. Um, that'll be pretty fun. Normally, I throw, prickly pears into, like, a Hefeweizen, beer. I normally do at least 1 prickly pear brew a day. I've added them into, like, a Sour Berliner, type of thing to see what happens there. See here, Washington, brew comps only, our meeting, Yakima Valley hops, so that's yeah, that dude, that would be pretty cool, and you ride dirt bikes. That's pretty cool. So, I'm gonna take it you probably have access to some pretty fresh hops then for your brew days, huh? And that probably, does pretty well for all your IPAs that you like to brew, huh? Fill up the old water cup. Well, we've dropped a little bit in temperature, but we've only got about 5 more minutes left, and I think I'm just gonna leave it be. Yep, we do have family in Everett. That'd be pretty cool experience. Do they let you guys help them harvest the hops? Do it, do it. Hops or inches, I don't know what you're talking about. Do it, do it. Uh, we're leaving the temperature alone. So, seems like, we got a little bit more, influx of people coming. Say hello, like, subscribe, check out some of these, other channels, Northwest Small Batch Brewing, Hops and Gnarly, or I'm sorry, Hops and Wrenches, all that. You can find, Mario on Instagram. Bill, do you have a YouTube channel or Instagram or anything like that that we can follow some of your, uh your content or brews or anything like that? I'll say a mandatory beer chug. Um, I don't even know what I'm saying. Yeah, you, say things, don't you, bud? Mandatory beer chug. I haven't done one of those. I will. I'll tell you what, what kinda challenge are we gonna do for the, uh, the live stream here to get me to do a mandatory beer chug? Um, I say, if we can get 15 people watching and get 15 likes, do a mandatory beer chug. And let me see, what beer will we chug? I'm not gonna chug Rye on Rye, and I'm not gonna chug Tank 7. I have Lithuanian Farmhouse. I have my birthday stout on tap. Trying to think of what would be a nice, easy thing to chug. I think, it'd be really rough, but there's some homebrew IPAs in the fridge. I wouldn't look forward to chugging those. Um, you know what? So, I'll tell you what, I've got, uh, 1 left of those, Hex Malt Smash beers that were Saaz, and I'll chug that. Mainly just tours, bringing fresh hops, no channel yet. Bro Pro a few years ago, but haven't used it yet. Are you interested in starting any kinda channel? You got a couple content creators here in the stream. We can help you get started, tell you kinda, where to host and stuff like that. if you're interested in getting started. Um, Hops and Wrenches says to chug the birthday stout. So I'll tell you what, I'll leave it up to the stream. Um, it comes down to Tex Malt Smash, Saaz, beer, or my birthday stout, chug. I'll let the stream, decide. So, I guess we got one more. One vote for the, Tex Malt Smash and the other one for the birthday stout. So, you guys only gotta drag in 5 more people and, get a couple more likes for that to happen. Smash Man, don't disrespect the stouts. That's what I'm kinda feeling like too. I think the Smash beer, uh, should be smashed, right? For mandatory beer challenge or mandatory beer chug. Uh, Too bad CH isn't here or Party Time. One of them would probably be able to, really get this going, huh? Or Gnome. Gnome is here. Gnome, are you here? If you're here, say hi. Smash the button and smash the stream. Yep. Smash the like button, subscribe. You guys need to get a few more people in here though for it to happen. Oh, y'all are losing people. Better start telling people, come over here to the stream and hit the like button, or we can just all say that this is Maro's fault. Come on, 5 more people, and y'all are dragging on the likes. Is this gonna happen or not? Who all's still in here? Let's see roll call here. Marvin Gaye in the background. I don't even know who that is. I'm gonna assume that it's some kind of singer or artist. I might make some kind of concessions. Oh, let's get it on. Feel like that's not really my speed as far as music. If I had to have some kind of music to chug to, it would probably have to be like Slipknot or Metallica, maybe some Static X. Trying to think of a song that would be good to chug to. Um, Alrighty, looks like our timer's up for the mash. Um, yep, missing the point. That's another advantage of me ignorantly uh ignorantly blessed. Our timer's up here for the mash. It's time to pull our grains out and tell you what. Let's let's uh let's get this done. We'll take our readings and all that. Hopefully we've got good time and my dog Hinder has decided to grace me with his presence to come hang out here. So If you see him on camera, tell him hi. All right, I'm gonna go run these grains to the chickens real quick. I'll be right back, and then we'll get over to the boil here just shortly. All right, time to take a gravity reading. Target is 1043. So our target was 1043 pre-boil, and we are at 1045. To note, we are a little under volume, so I'm gonna take that as a win, especially after that live stream brew day and all that. That was the mess of gravity uh ratings. All right, now that we've moved into the boil, let's go and check the chat here real quick. Looks like I missed a little bit. Let's see here. What did I miss? Let's see. Stay. I scrolled way too far up. Let's see. Northwest Hope Hops is saying man, NBC LOL. Let's see here. Mainly tours. Okay, so we talked about that. Let's see here. Yeah, I did scroll way too far up. See here, off topic. I use a bamboo like theme spoon for brewing. There, I set it. Pictures. Oh, thank you. Oh, so I got some pizza here. Let's see here. Yep, I did squeeze it. Uh, well, just made time for chill. Yep, the chickens are happy. So Mario, no, it's not raining currently. We only have like a 7% chance of rain. That's one of the reasons why I decided to go ahead and live stream this brew day. It's down to 5% now, so I felt pretty safe with having my laptop and all that out of here. 156, low temperature, enzymes that produce tails and nature beta, for instance, beta is responsible for change. Yes, I've seen people put a barbecue. Yeah, um, I've thought about it. Typically, honestly, what I normally do is when I pull my green bag out, I'll have a fermenter or another kettle, put that back in there, kinda let it cool off a little bit, then bag, and then take that water into that bucket, put it into this one, is what I normally do. Um, I just was unprepared with that part of it today. Um, it is what it is. I wasn't stop and go get one or anything like that. I mean, a little red, but I'll be fine. Let's see here. I'm gonna lose this. Put this away. See here, I'm so excited ordering on par this month for my birthday, Christmas. Huh. Alrighty. Well, it looks like we're all caught up. So exciting and fun, huh, guys? Pardon me while I eat. This is the first thing that I'm eating today, and if I'm gonna do that mandatory beer chug that Northwest and Morrow and Hops want me to do, I should probably put some food on. Oh, that was good. Heading into the boil now, and our first hop addition is gonna be at or no, is gonna be at 60 minutes, and it's gonna be the Magnum, which was the 0.6 ounces. Sorry, that dog in the garden, making sure he's not tearing anything up. So Northwest, you got your brew chill down. Ops, where are you at on your brew day? Did you hit your pre-boil? I'm at my house. Well, yeah. Thanks. 30 minutes down to 170. Waiting for my sample to chill. Reading before I fill the kettle. Oh yeah, yeah. You say you were over. How far over were you? Northwest. I'll tell you what. Seeing as how I don't think that we're gonna hit the 15 viewer mark and 15 likes, let let's do 10 and 10. And I say 10 and 10, and now we got 8 and 8. Let's do 10 and 10. We can get 10 people on the stream and 10 likes. I'll do it. But I wanna be moved into the boil first before I do it. So y'all better go round up some people. People oh, wow. Yeah. That's quite a significant number there for sure. I think we talked about it during my last stream where I was like 5 off, and I chased the 5, and I was 10 off, and then we bowled for a little bit longer and all that. So we'll see how that beer turned out here before too much longer. I need to take gravity reading on that today, kind of see where we're at. Yep, better too high than too low. Totally agree. Totally agree. So does anybody, everybody, do y'all skim the stuff off the top? Do y'all mix it back into the brew? What do y'all do there? I normally right back on in. Figure fermentation of the boil will kick out whatever it doesn't want. I know some people try to skim it off the top with the ideas of hopefully making their brew a little bit cleaner, clearer. So I know we've talked about a little bit before in some of the previous streams about mistakes, craziest things that have happened to you and stuff while brewing and whatnot. For one time, I was brewing and I was actually bottling, and I came up to the point of actually for the video. Um, it was one of the beginner series I did for the channel. And it was new things or whatever, or how to brew from a beginner's perspective kind of deal. And one of the suggestions that I made was during bottling, turn off the valve before you add anything into the bottling bucket. And I said that if I can save you any time and frustration, please take that one part of advice to heart. So I I total rookie mistake during that point in time. I knew better than to do it, and by that point, I'd already been brewing for several years, and, sometimes you get to filming and, you got everything else going on, you kind of get absent-minded a little bit, so, that was kind of a funny moment, and I was like, "You know what? I need to talk about this because this just happened." Video that which I didn't post yet, but Brew said, "Don't scam DMS in the hot gets more released if you don't." That's interesting. So so Northwest, because you don't scam, you just mix it back in, or do you just leave it be? Chris says he mixes it in too. Pops and wrenches, what do you do? One day I'm gonna get good at this. Leave it alone, let it break on its own. Getting pretty close to the boil. Sorry if I'm a little distracted here. That it really makes a big difference either way. Those philosophy guys, man, they have some interesting stuff. I think it was they did a study on the squeeze the bag part of it for brew bag people, and they said that there was no difference detected there. So I had already been squeezing the bag before that article, hit out, and so I was just like, "Well, guess I'm doing okay then," you know? Excuse me. Really, really close. Sorry for the, back and forth with the camera and stuff. Like I said, this is, a brew that I plan on, filming and, publishing to the channel eventually. So, once it's done, I just needed to make sure that, I capture some on film. Um, you know, some of, the other guys in here that are also content creators can, attest to you end up filming a lot more than you end up using. So it's kinda wild, the ratio, for 15-minute video, I'll have, like, you know, 10 or, I'll have, like, 3 or 5 hours worth of total stuff to filter through to make one video. So editing editing is its own beast. Sometimes you just gotta let the video go to the way that it's feeling, you know? Right there at the cusp. This is one of the most nerve-wracking parts of, brewing here is waiting for, the boil and the break. Got a little activity, come on. It'll happen one day, promise. But also kinda fun. You talking about the wait for the boil over there or the breakover hops? Yep. What's your guys' favorite smells during brew day? Mashing in, hop additions, uh, when you, open up the fermenter for transfer, or what what do you guys like as far as, brew day and other brew type, experiences? Me, myself, I find, mashing in is normally my favorite smell. Every once in a while, some kinda hop profile, for an addition, I wouldn't say necessarily, uh, beats it, but it's surprising to me. Most of the time, the aromas from hop additions and stuff like that don't don't really do anything for me, you know. I do smell the hops occasionally. I've got past the point of smelling every hop. Alright, we got some more activity. Need the break. Back it down just a little bit. So we don't foam up too much for the break. Gaining some ground now. See here. Normally it's a mash, but the hop smell today changed from multi to hoppy. Hop smell like pot. Mashing in. Agreed. So I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but apparently hops are supposed to be like cousins or whatever to the cannabis. I found that interesting when I found that out. Kind of makes sense what hops do. Today's hop basket was actually my first hop basket that I got. I think that's one thing that I'm not gonna miss once I ever get a electric brew system is the ability for temperature control to be a little bit better instead of just adjusting the gas just right for that nice little boil, that you need to get going. And one day we'll see what day that is. Uh, hopefully it's not too much longer. Having said that, I'm kind of at the crossroads of wanting to upgrade the kettle. I've got it in my head that I'm going to probably get the 20-gallon kettle like this from Anvil. That way I can do like a 10-gallon batches for that, or some really really high ABV starting gravity 5-gallon batches, or crossover into like 7.5-gallon batches or something of that nature. This one's just a little bit more restrictive what I wanna do and where I wanna go from here. We got a pretty good boil going now. Looks like we got a good break. So here goes the Magnum additions. Alrighty. So got that out of the way, and our next addition's going to be at, see here, the 15-minute 2-ounce Saaz edition and the Whirlfloc Tablet. So we'll need to add our chiller then. So I'm going to make a timer for 30 minutes from now for that. That way I can I'll have 15 minutes to get my hops kind of prepared and get that wort chiller in there and make the temperature adjustment for dropping that wort chiller in, have some time to get all that hooked up and sorted and all that. Let's see here. Need a better camera like that. Just use webcams. Um, so as far as camera equipment goes, uh, the the camera that I use for most of the filming for the channel, that's actually I've kind of shanghaied it a little bit for this. I've supplemented in webcams and my phone sometimes in some of the videos that I've done. Uh, Shoot, there was one video I had like 5 or 6 cameras going at one time to try to have a very dynamic kinda setup and change and different angles and stuff like that. Those videos, man, they end up kinda just becoming a lot to manage, to edit out and whatnot. Um, I like the quality of some of them. It's just, there's been some videos, uh, because I am dead set on having a release day, every other Thursday at a certain time. There's been some videos that weren't fully done, like, they were literally, added to YouTube probably about, anywhere between an hour and 30 minutes before they went live, just due to the amount of editing that went into them. I've tried to find a good pace and different shots and stuff like that, to where and I've gotten better and quicker at editing too, so that does help. But, you know I really think if you start adding in, like, more than 2 cameras, you really start to kind of add a lot more complications because it's just a lot of footage to go through and get there, find that one shot that you're looking for, whatever, and then sometimes you find out, like, "Oh, man, I messed up that angle," or the volume isn't really good for that or anything like that, so scrapping that. So, that Canon is the main, camera. Right now I'm using a webcam, a Razer for that, for streaming today. I've got a couple webcams that I used on a couple different projects, unfortunately won't see the light of day due to the way that I had to set them up. Uh, they got bumped during an event, and so the footage and audio are not clean, which is a real shame because it was, during the Houston beer fest that we did. We had several breweries come out. I got to lead a brewers like panel discussion, and so we got to ask them a lot of questions and stuff like that. And there's really good answers, a lot of wealth of information that was all in one room, and we talked about a lot of different things. And like I said, because the camera got blocked from a brewer when they were walking around the table or something like that, and unfortunately, it was one of those things where I had the laptop set off to the side and I had mocked everything up that, I never went back and I couldn't watch while we were doing it, so all that footage is it's it's there. Some of it's usable, but I don't think enough of it's usable to make a coherent, um, video out of, I guess I could probably work something out and I may do it. I don't know. It's gonna take some time to kind of weed out. I've got a couple other videos that are similar to that. Actually, the first, video that was pegged for the channel, um, is kind of a little bit of a mess. It was my first attempt at shooting film and all that, and so I've got a plan for that. That I'll eventually release it, here pretty soon, but, just kinda like, and then there's another video, which is actually the hazy IPA, that myself and, my old brew partner that we did. Man, it's just kinda everywhere. There's multiple different takes, there's multiple different setups of shooting the taste test for that beer and stuff like that, and so that's kind of a hot mess. So, kinda got a plan for it. We'll see what happens with it, but we'll just, we're just gonna play wait and see. Uh, Northwest, oh, yeah, I've been there uploading hours before you wanted to post. Yeah, for sure. Sometimes the struggle is real, life and all that gets in the way. Let's see here. Oh my god. OG is 1090, 1 at 1080. Water. Yeah, that's a pretty stout beer there, sir. So we've moved into and got what, 8 it looks like. So it's time for a beer. And I guess my hands are pretty much tied into this, even though you guys failed me and didn't get the 15 that we needed. I guess I gotta do it, though. I mean, if I don't do it, I don't think that Northwest or Hops and Wrenches or Morrow will forgive me really at this point, right? Let me go get that beer. All right, Jaggers Brewing Co. glass, patented labeling device, text malts with the patenting blue label, and then my handy dandy snap-on bottle opener. This thing is a little overcarbonated, so we're probably gonna have to let it chill out for a moment and settle down before I drink it. Just a little overcarbonated. Give that a minute to settle down here on the foam. See here, hops and wrenches. I'm going into overtime. I'm 5 points off. 5 points off on your pre-pull or 5 points off on your starting gravity. 5 points isn't that much. I would probably chase 5 points. Morrow, closing in on 2, and I'm not even ready for a beer. I'm always ready for a beer. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but it's Sunday. We've already got all of our running around to do. It's, 12:40 now. Uh, Pretty much got all the chores and running around done for the week. Figure have a nice, beer. We're still, not quite clear of foam yet. 10:52 needs to be 10:57. I got my post-boil gravity should be 10:57. I personally don't feel like you're gonna taste, 3 or 5 points like that. It is a nice feeling to know that you hit your numbers, you did for sure, you know what I mean? But, eh, I I would probably chase 5 points, but if I got within 3 points, I think I would just say, "You know what? We're done." Especially after that last live stream. That was a little ridiculous. But we brewed 3 beers, and one of those was all Maro's fault. Drink the foam. I have a feeling after I drink this, I'm gonna be belching quite a bit. Went ahead and kicked it up just a little bit more. Got some bees hanging around me, kinda a little gun shy. During the last stream, I shared an experience with some bees that, wasn't, exactly, beneficial, to me. They just moved into this house 7 years ago or something like that, and, it was the first time mowing the lawn, and, there was, like, 4 or 5 tallow trees along the side. I'd mowed and all that other stuff, so I was going around weed whacking around the trees. The last tallow tree that I had to weed whack around, I saw, like, 2 or 3 bees coming, like, around the tree, so I backed off a little bit, respect the bees and all that, so we don't have to rely on GMO stuff, and, when I was coming around, so those 3 bees turned into, like, basically a swarm, and they chased me down 1 whole block and up 1 whole block, before they finally stopped, and, luckily enough, I found out that I was not allergic to, bee stings and all that. So, that was awesome, but I was stung something like 30 times, and that was a painful night. Uh, so we called a bee relocator/exterminator out, said that he had to exterminate the hive, extremely aggressive, and that they were in a part of the tree that he couldn't access to pull them out to save them. So, unfortunately, they had to die, but, shortly after that, I chopped that tree down, and I don't know exactly where these bees are coming from. I wish them all the luck. I enjoy all their help with the garden and all that, but, after being chased by them, that was a little, nerve-wracking, so it doesn't matter if it's a mosquito hardly anymore, or a bee, or a wasp, or anything. If I get something kinda coming by my face, my head, I kinda have been a little gun shy. I used to not be that way. Used to, walking around out here and stuff like that, like wasps and stuff like that, it's just, oh, well, but after that, just I can't do it. And you're right, Mario, that is an extremely clear beer. This is another example of the, like, no chill, 'cause I no chilled that, and, I mean, it's pretty well clear. I don't know how clear that you guys can see through it through the camera, but, I can see the camera through it for sure. Got a little bit of chill haze on the glass. Like I said, it's definitely overcarbonated. I mean, look at all those bubbles. It's effervescent, as, the guidelines would probably say. I didn't know what the hell effervescent was when I was looking through the guidelines, and then I had to Google it, and I was like, "Oh, that's what effervescent." Thing's probably gonna clear up about the time that it's time to do the 15-minute additions, for God's sakes. Alright. So, who's still, here for roll call? Morrow Hops Northwest? Huh, never seen that word either. I have a feeling that, one of my submissions into into a competition is gonna get, dinged for barely bubbly or undercarbonated. I'm not gonna talk about which one it was, because I know that there's some people that watch some stuff that, are judges and all that. Wonderful looking beer. So, this was the Tex Malt beer with Saaz hops, uh, all the way Saaz hops. Oh, good. Good that you, got the OG. Uh, I so this was a 60-minute, one, accidental 2 30-minute editions, and then, like, a 5-minute edition, and then we fermented it with USO5 on this one. So it should be a lot like this beer, uh, but this one will have a dry hop edition. Once some of this foam dies down, we'll do it. Yeah, like I said, it's a little tad bit overcarbonated. I don't know exactly what happened with that. I did the typical thing of take your hydrometer, take a reading, and then take another hydrometer reading 3, 4 days later, make sure it's stabilized. Then I left it for another couple days. I couldn't get around to it. Only thing that I can think of is somewhere I was off in my calculations for the priming sugar, um, on that batch. It's bottle conditioned, so it kinda just is what it is at this point. I've got a few more of these things hanging around, not too many. Um, I've entered it into a competition or 2 this year, so we'll see how it does. This is the one, though, for American Pale Ale. It, went to best of show, so pretty happy with that. I was disappointed with the beer overall. Felt like it kinda basically made an IPA with it, which, I mean, it's a pale ale, smash beer, so, but I was happy to see that it went to, best of show. I ended up entering it into, a couple categories, a couple competitions. It, because it's, Tech Malt and it's their version of American Otter, I went ahead and entered it into English IPA. I entered it into American IPA and American Pale Ale, and so with the, aroma, getting a little bit of a earthy fruit smell, just kinda something that I've become accustomed with Saaz hops, really enjoy them. Alright, here it goes. I'm gonna count me down. 4 left. Hops, Morrow, y'all are responsible for this. You're I'll do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cheers. Oh, excuse me. Didn't quite make it the whole way. Oh, it burns. A little carbonated. Well, you're on my part. Any more singing like that, I'm fixing to start banning y'all. Ah, all right, guys. So, oh man, we've got right about 8 minutes till we need to start. See here. No, yeah, we've got about 8 minutes till we need to start prepping everything. I'm gonna go ahead and take some advantages of some free time here and um rinse off my wort chiller here quick and get that started added in and all that, start getting ready for this 15-minute edition because we're gonna have a lot of things going on there. I had it setting outside, a little bit earlier today, so I got a lot of leaves and stuff on it, so I wanted to go ahead and get all that stuff rinsed off of it. I was gonna throw that little bit out, but I guess I'll drink it. Ooh, feeling the carbonation. What all did you pick up, Northwest? Originally the plan was for me to have a beer to sip on while I was, boiling away over here, but, guys are bad influences on me. I don't know how much more Morrow can be blamed for things, so we'll give him a pass on this one. Much longer we got? 4 minutes. Okay. Sorry. When I do these short timers where I got a lot of stuff going on, I wanna do some prep work, kinda messes up everything, like, math-wise, and so I've gotta sit there and remember that I'm doing XYZ at whatever, even though I don't have it broke down. Oh, man. Ooh, excuse me. Couple Doppelbocks from Germany, Spuck, Root Porter with raspberry in it. I take beer company beers. Okay, cool. Gotta support those local people, keep them in business. We just lost another, craft brewer around us, Backfish. That's gonna be a pretty big ding to our homebrew community and the craft brewer community around, they did a lot of stuff, um, around here for a lot of different people. Vanilla mint stout finally got some vanilla hints, only 2 levels gallon. Okay, cool. Lager to try. Never Shiner makes a black lager, it's the 99, I think? That's pretty good. They do, like, yearly birthday releases. 99 was a birthday release, and, they ended up basically I think they brew it seasonal, like, once a year. Uh, one year they did a birthday cake beer. They've done several. I ended up saving a lot of, like, Shiner beer caps. I was originally going to do, like, a tabletop where I, like, drilled out the, uh, shape of Texas and go back in with Shiner box caps and, put them down and then, like, put over some, like, uh, not plexiglass, but, like, polyurethane or something like that, make it like a beer top or whatever, but then that project just ended up getting way bigger than I meant it to be and stuff, and so then you started getting all these specialty caps. I was like, "Oh, this could be Houston, this could be Austin, this could be Dallas, this could be San Antonio," and, like, all the other, like, big Texas towns and stuff like that, and so I don't know if I'll ever go back and do it, but I got a shit ton of Shiner Bock, uh, bottle caps laying around that I need to do something with. I guess I could probably just scrap them and get, like, $1, but try to drink them on my videos to showcase them. I've I've been trying to catch up on all your stuff, small, batch, man. It's just tough. I'm sure you know the struggle of trying to keep up with everybody, and I really appreciate you swinging by on all the live chats and stuff that you have. Yep, research, that gets expensive. Ask me how I know. I'm pretty lucky w there's a bottle shop or 2 kinda not too far away from here, and, but, we have a store down here called HEB, and, like, the bigger ones have really started to step up their game, craft beer, scene, really trying to get a good local scene, some of the imports and stuff like that around here. So, like, if I'm looking for, like, a Belgian beer or something like that, I'll try to go there, or, um, then there's, uh, like, Total Wine that's not too far away. I'll try to go there, pick up some, specialty bottles there. They've got a pretty large local section there too. Nothing beats actually going to the brewery and handing them your money, you know? That's the best way to do it. You get those personal relationships with them, and you know that money's going back directly to them, that money means more to them than it does, the shops, unfortunately. I love the live streams because yep, it sure is. It sure is. Yeah, I don't really have a dedicated, schedule to live stream. I've definitely been enjoying doing these, being a little bit more direct contact with you guys. I know, like, some of us end up in some of the same live streams throughout the week, occasionally and stuff like that, but it's nice to kinda meet people on your own terms too, like, here, uh, and talk to people kinda more on a personal level. It's kinda harder for me to, like, address, people and stuff and chats and whatnot, uh, to, have that personal experience. Sometimes those chats on the bigger channels, they just go by too quickly, you don't see things like that. Um, so I really, really thank each and every one of you guys for, coming and hanging out, checking out, with us, and chatting and that. He had 5 brew shops near me, and so, man, you are a lucky, lucky man to have 5 home stores near you. Um, our our local homebrew store, Hop and Grape, closed down probably about, I don't know, 8 months ago or something like that now, and, so we're with the homebrew shop for 6 months. So the closest one to us was, like, an hour or so away, depending on traffic. So it was all the way basically in the middle of Houston, and so, like, with all the construction and just everything, you kinda had to, like, line up all your carts right just to go, and man, it just started to suck to have to run up there for every little thing. So it's nice to finally have somebody that, 20 minutes up the road most of the time, depending on traffic, of course, but, to be able to also help support my local community too. Granted, the other local shop that's, in the middle of Houston, I'm still supporting, local to some extent. And they were really, really great guys over there. I don't have one complaint with them. It's just, just the travel time and the traffic was the thing that made me dread driving up there. So I always had to attach it with another trip through town kinda deal. See here. So timer went off. So we're going to go ahead and we're gonna have that temperature fluctuation here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this hot basket. I'm gonna get that, chiller in. We're gonna let it do its temperature swing, come back up to boil, and then, start our timer, and then at the end of that timer, we'll be at our 15-minute additions. Alright, as predicted, adding that wort chiller in kinda brought us down just below boiling, so while we wait for that to come back up to boil, uh, we'll end up being good. Let's see here. Live in a college town in Georgia. We don't even have a homebrew store. Will display my brew days, way less stress, I heat my water overnight. Yeah, I I typically, uh, try to make sure that I have everything ready to go the night before, but, you know, lately, like I said, got too much going on kinda constantly, shoot, I mean, I had my grains, Friday, but, I didn't do any of my water salt additions or measure that stuff out until 1080 on the mark. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alrighty, so we're boiling again. Time to get our timer going. 15 minutes. So another 15 minutes. Our our 15-minute mission closing in on the home stretch now. Finally. So, anybody looking forward to anything in particular this year? I know we kind of talked about possibly some goals and stuff like that to get any chatter there, but anybody looking for one particular group that they got coming up? Like I said, I'm doing that Bohemian Pilsner, coming up. Um, so you know me and you've heard me talk about it before. I typically like, uh, 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 Boulevard Rye on Rye, and so kinda like racking my brain on how to not necessarily a clone of it, but like an inspiration to that beer, and that's like a 12% beer, and I don't think that I'm gonna be able to do it in my current setup with the pedal and stuff. I think basically I'm kinda like locked in about 1060, 1070 maybe if I do everything right as far as the grains go in this kettle. I think I need to be a little bit more above that. Need to start shooting for, like, that 12% beer. So something that I had in my mind, and I've kinda been throwing it out there a little bit, but now that I've got a few other people's attention, I'm thinking rye on rye is a rye-based beer, and then they take it, age it in rye whiskey barrels. So my thought process is to come up with a decent rye-based, just plain ale, there. And then to kinda cheat the system, I was thinking about taking some of that, Breeze rye malt extract and adding that into the boil, to kinda get it up there to those, like, barley wine type, um, um, thresholds for original gravity. Um, I've looked at some of those, like, uh, clone recipes, or they said, "Hey, I spoke to the brewer, and they said this is what they did as far as the hops and stuff like that." So I'm really trying to start it over from scratch. Um, that rye beer from them is seasonal, so whenever I see it, I gotta buy, a couple, 4 packs of it at one time because that's how it comes. Occasionally, I've seen it, like, twice on tap somewhere, so, um I really enjoy that beer, so I wanna have something that's similar to it. So, I don't really know what to do with the hops right now. I was looking at, like, Independence, for that, like, kinda tobacco, leathery, taste. I think there was another one that was called, Angus that I was looking at that had the same qualities. Um, so I'm thinking about throwing those in, what ratio and stuff, I don't know yet. I just need to sit down and figure that one out. But I was also thinking of, and I've done it several times, especially recently, where I've been trying my own wood chips and stuff like that and stuff in spirits. But I'm thinking about getting some cheap rye whiskey, doing that to kind of mimic that rye, barrel aged, um, type of flavors and stuff like that. So, I don't know, small batch, Mario hops. Anybody else familiar with that beer? You guys think it's kind of a great bill for that? I'm thinking it's probably gotta be just for simplicity's sake, I'm thinking it's gotta be like, 2-row malt, of course. Um, Probably gonna have some kinda crystal in it, color, 'cause it's not a super light beer. Well, hell, let's just go forward and figure it out. So if you haven't tried this beer and you like rye beer, I really think you should try it. Pretty much all my favorite. beers, just period. There it is. I'm sure some of the color probably comes from the barrel too. So it smells super sweet right off the top, very malty. So it's 12.2% ABV. Rye ale aged in rye whiskey barrels. We don't have any other kind of hints here. I've seen like where some of the people say, "Oh, I talked to the head brewer and they use like Centennial and Simcoe or something like that." I need to go back and look at all that, but like I said, it's not a dark beer, not a light beer either. Closer to, I guess, brown ale. So smells super sweet, super malty, and you have that little bit of a whiskey aspect to it. So I don't think that we're gonna be able to clue in on what hops were used as far as anything aroma-wise. Mouthfeel, we've got a good medium mouthfeel. So 2 row, rye malt, maybe some flaked rye. That barrel, I think that it just masks so much of what the base beer is. I could see probably some Crystal 40, maybe some 60 or something going into this. But on the tail end of it, it's got some very big hints of that rye whiskey barrel deal there. So I think the hops are pretty much a mystery. I think we have a lot of room that I could play around it here with it. Um, Thinking like the more expressive of those like fruit and darker notes like the tobacco and that like leather note or whatever would fit very well into this beer. I don't know. It definitely is like has a good malt profile that's followed ex extremely with that barrel profile after that. So, I guess Magnum for bittering, but that Independence, hop, I think that was a high alpha acid hop too. So this Doppel should be 8.6% done. I mean, mandatory beer mug is what you make it. I think you should do it. I did mine. I know you hate 'em, so I'm calling you out, Northwest. What barrel? I don't think black licorice. Rye. Yeah. With rye, I don't really get the black licorice. I kinda get that peppery, uh, not really the phenolic, uh, taste with it, like, more like that rye bread. uh, aspect from rye a lot. So it's interesting, and I cannot say enough about this beer. I really love it. One of my all-time favorite beers. Well, we're just over 3.5 minutes till we start need to start adding this stuff. So our 15-minute sessions are gonna be we already got the wort chiller in, sanitized. We got Whirlfloc Tablet, then we're gonna have 2 ounces of the Saaz 3.4, and the aroma is earth, floral, spicy, and wood. I would agree with that. Oh, excuse me. Man, that smash beer before. Typical beer styles are a pilsner, a lager, and a Belgian style ale. Can't go wrong with any of those, can you? What are y'all's favorite hops to play around with? Um, I've done some smash beers with, Citra and Citra and Centennial, and I think I can pick those out of beers, due to those smash beers. I've really learned to have loved, Saaz. I think, Easton Goldings is a good hop. I've never done a smash beer with those, but t I probably have a hard time picking that out, Easton Goldings, but Easton Goldings kinda goes in a lot of different beers. Same for, like, Centennial, the, citrus and stuff like that. Um, let's see here. Cluster. I like Cluster. Cluster's a really good hop. Another low well, let's say that's probably a little closer to mid alpha. I wouldn't call it low alpha. I mean, when you compare hops like Warrior or Magnum or something, maybe it's a little closer to lower alpha acids. But yeah, uh, I like Cluster. And I like Cluster though because I've added it into, Kentucky Commons, and I think I can maybe suspect that something's got cluster. I don't know if I could pin it out directly and say, "Oh, yeah, this definitely has cluster to it." But, cluster's a good hop. Let's see here. Trying to think of any of the other hops that I've used repeatedly other than, like, Eastern Golding and Saaz because those have been going in those, farmhouses and saisons. Mount Hood, Chinook is very IPA, yeah. Fuggles, just 'cause it's fun as hell to say out loud. Yeah, uh, I haven't done Fuggle. So if I make a Fuggle beer, what should it be, Morrow? The world is depending on you. Don't let this be your fault. Uh, uh, the the Chimera beer, that had cluster in it. Did I did straight cluster for that one. Alrighty, time to add our 15-minute additions. Whirlfloc Tablet? Saaz. All right. So our next edition is 5 minutes away, which will be the yeast nutrient. See here. Earthy. I just got done making Fuggle Hop. Beer that is. I like it, especially for a smash. So this beer is not a smash. This is it's just a pale ale. It's got a couple other additions other than a smash would normally have for a little bit more complexity and uh, malt backbone to hopefully complement everything. Um, so now that I've got pretty much, I guess, the hardcore viewers for the channel in here, question: would there be any interest in me doing like a live stream, uh, kind of in the background, but I'm videoing a video for release? Like you guys get to see me stumble during the normal intros, some of the randomness stuff that goes on while I'm trying the video. I of course try to keep all that as clean as possible. Uh, when I go and edit a video and upload it and all that. But is there any interest in something like that? I kind of think that it would be fun to do. That's what I try to do is do things that are fun to me, and hopefully other people find them interesting. But I thought that might be interesting for some people that are one channel people, and then two people that aren't necessarily have their own channels or whatever, but kind of dig brewing content and kind of curious of how things are made and shot and stuff like that. And granted, not every channel is the same. Like I think mine is probably a little bit more chaotic as as anyone else's or whatever. There are some people that just shoot in total clean environments, but as you can hear right now, I mean, I've had motorcycles, I've had airplanes, I've had helicopters go by, been a couple loud trucks, my dog's barking, squirrels. You've probably heard some of the chickens some of the time. I agree with that small or with Northwest. I find the way that other people approach videos and edit stuff interesting, because I'm always hoping to pick up that next tip on how to do something, how to present something better. But on the flip side of that, I definitely feel like I have my own style, my own flair, just as you do. Uh, I think that you and I we share a lot of commonality with our content. We present the cleanest, most precise um, content that we can, while still remaining scientific and stuff as possible. But on the other side of that, like we're like we have our own little small differences that where I would do something different that you would or whatever. But I know that there's a lot of misconceptions though for people that run channels and all that on the people that don't have channels that produce content that they some people don't know what it takes, to shoot a video, edit a video, and all that, um, but it is something that I'm willing to do, and I think I've got a couple cool, fun ideas that you guys can kinda see me fumble through, as far as, like, shooting a video. I also thought about maybe doing, like, a live stream or something of me editing a video. Um, Now when I edit a video, I chip away at it. A video may take me 3 to 5 days, to edit, but I'm only working on it for, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour at a I know some people, they're able to just kinda go in and clock in and edit a video for 2 hours straight or whatever, or some people kind of, go back and they have their processes down so well that they know they only need to capture, 15 seconds of this, 3 minutes of that, 5 minutes of this, or whatever, and they're able to kinda cobble it all together. I'm nowhere near that, and I've been trying to shake things up as far as the channel goes with different shots, different angles, different locations of shooting, and all that. Okay, time to throw the yeast nutrient in. I'll be right back. Alright, so the yeast nutrient kinda had gotten a little dry there for a minute, but, so I've been trying to, change it up a little bit, and sometimes I don't get the time to edit until, like, 10, 11 o'clock at night, so, I remember back last year, uh, when I got COVID, I was editing, something in the middle of the night. It was, like, 1 o'clock in the morning, and it felt like a freight train hit me, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm sick, and I've got COVID." And, like, I was like, "Okay, well, now that I have COVID, I'll be able to edit, like, weeks worth of content," and that that didn't work out. That was a that was a mistake on my part, thinking that I would be able to film, I would be able to edit and all that. That shit didn't go my way. Let's see here. Morrow, I feel like it's definitely on brand for your appeal to me, at least basically like a neighbor, so that's pretty. Well, thank you, man. I really try I don't try. I I just try to present myself the way that I do normally to anybody. If you've got any kind of dealings with me personally, you know I am what I am. Like, there's nothing more to me than you guys see here on the channel for the most part. Um, there is a professional me that some of you guys will probably never meet. Uh, just due to the nature of the things that I'm into or whatever, uh, as far as like a work related experience. But if you guys see me, act a certain way or whatever here on the channel, it's how I do in real life. You know, um, I probably swear a lot more in real life than I do here on the channel, like a lot more. But overall, for me, you see what you get, kind of deal. See, it's Northwest, yeah. I'm like, usually I know I can it pretty fast, but fascinating people like CH and Climber script everything. I tried scripts. Some of the first videos I tried to script out pretty good. The problem with scripts for me is I sound too robotic. And then second of all, I lose track of when I'm trying to read and talk at the same time for like having that camera on you is a big pressure for me, and so like I'll start reading like a line or whatever, and then I get stumbled up, and then I get frustrated. The first video that I ever shot was, 3 Berliners, and they were like a comparison video between 3 Berliners, and so we scripted that out, and, I read it, I reread it, and I reread it, a couple times while we were making the script, and then I had the camera on me, and we tried to have kinda like the apartment brewer was doing there for a little bit, where he was against the wall and he was talking to the camera, and I got frustrated, I was hot, I was tired, and stuff like that, and then I was like, "You know what?" I went back off into a room, uh, it was the middle of the night, so the house was dead silent, and so, like, I read it, and I listened to it, and it was too fast. So then I redid it, and then it was too slow, it didn't have enough punch. So the 3rd time that I did it, um, I was frustrated, like, and I was angry, I was upset, I felt like I couldn't do this, I couldn't make a channel, I couldn't make a video, and all that. And to tell you the truth, like, I don't think you can tell, like, I was kinda upset, hungry during during that first video, the voiceover, but, I was. And, to tell you the truth, like, looking back on that, that's one of my favorite videos. I feel like it had a lot of magic behind it, and, it's probably magic that I haven't really, uh, captured, too often in any of the other videos or live streams even for that matter at this point. It definitely was kinda hard even though I was, like, upset, I was just, like, already defeated, like, I can't do this. And so after we did that video, after we edited, my wife edited that video, she took all those B-roll shots, and so we loaded it up into the editor, and we're like, "Okay, we need to get this shot, we need to get this shot," and then, we almost had that video completely done, and we're like, "Okay, we need some more B-roll, we need this," and I was just like, "Oh my god, will this ever work out? How is this gonna be attainable?" And, so after we got that video done, we went ahead and filmed 2 other ones, but I told her, I was like, "After this video here, I'm not doing any more voiceovers." Was it like, I have to get good at being in front of the camera to be able to present things, and so ever since then, uh, it's been like that. Now there have been some other things where, like, maybe they should have been voiceovers, or they kinda started off like the way that you would film a voiceover like that, but it was kinda meant to be more of an intimate video where, you know, like, I think it was the Raw Ale 2.0, you know, that's a special video to me. I want a homebrew competition that was People's Choice, there, and so that was awesome. That was an awesome experience. And, I felt like that was something that I needed to be closer to the camera, closer to the audience, and present that in a way that is special, and that that beer, that recipe is special to me, that video is special to me, you know? And I think that you guys got to see a side of me that you don't normally see, you got to see some of the homestead stuff, you got to see some of the chicken stuff, you got to see me at a competition, and really, to tell you the truth, when they called my name for that, I was like, "Oh my god, what just happened?" Like, I didn't even understand it. Like, I had to have, like, 3 people tell me, like, "Hey, you won. Go get your certificate," and all that. So, that was an awesome experience, you know? Speaking of, maybe possible other future content, like, how do you guys feel about some of the homestead stuff? I've got some projects that have started that I've collected video on and stuff like that. I haven't sat down and made a director's decision on, like, where it needs to go or whatever. But do you guys wanna see some of this homestead stuff, some of the stuff in the garden, some of the other things that we're doing that's, like, brewing related or at least brewing adjacent, that would feed beer one day and things like that? Like, I think that would be pretty interesting. And I try to make content that that, um, that that I would want to watch, and so that's probably a lot of what you're seeing there too. Let's see here, small batch, I just started with adding B-roll to my videos, game changer. Yeah, get with me Northwest, I'll kinda show you what, uh, what I've been doing with B-roll. I've tried to change it up a couple different times, tried to do a couple different things with I don't know how much of the stuff that you've seen, on my channel, that I've done, with that. Let's see here, Chris, filming be awkward if you hold it up. I'll get with you, in just a little bit, after the stream ends, Chris. I do have a mic, it's like a podcaster's mic, and then I don't have a mic that's on the but, we I've got that too, that's what I've used for most of the voiceover work stuff I've done. Um, yeah, so, I would like to kinda get the kinda, like, mic setup that, CH uses on Homebrew for Life and stuff, where it's on the stand and comes in overhead and stuff for videos, uh, and get cleaner audio there. Um, Unfortunately, I've been using a lot of that, like, either USB or that, like, 3.5, uh, plug, kind of stuff. Um, see here, you should do B-roll throwing greens out to the chickens. So there are a few videos that do have that B-roll there. I cannot think of any of them that come to my mind right off the top of my head. I think possibly, uh, the Text Malt Smash one does, and, the Raw Ale 2.0. I think both of those have some of the B-roll there in it. I kind of was doing some of that stuff where, at the end of a lot of the videos, they have, like, the bloopers with kinda more of the funnier stuff that I've done or had done to me or whatever happened. Uh, but yeah, so I'll try to incorporate some more of that stuff. I'm kinda working loosely on in the background, like, what to do with spent grains, too, while being on a homestead or being a homebrewer or whatever. I need a podcast for my something coming up. Yes, I'll tell you what, Northwest, I don't think we've communicated outside of, uh, any, any kind of, Instagram or whatever, but, hit me up on IM on Instagram or email me, um, here at, jaggersbrewingco@gmail.com. We'll exchange phone numbers and I'll work on, some stuff with you. I've got a podcaster's mic that I've used on a few things, that were for other people, that I had to do remotely. So, hit me up on that though, and, we'll exchange phone numbers, maybe work out a collaboration or 2 too. Oh, let's see here. So that was the Yeast Nutrient. So guys, we're right there at it. It's time for Flame Out Edition. All right, so that was the Flame Out Edition. It's time to go turn on the chiller. I'm gonna turn on the water slowly, so I'll be away for just a little bit. Give me 1 second. Uh,
When I realized what you're doing, I ran up here, but any leaks or anything. So.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to add that really slowly. But we're just chilling more now. Looks like we're right at volume. That'll be good. Here comes a train. So pardon the loud noises. Let's see here. Condenser mic. All I need. And at this point, that's a lot of words. It sounds complicated. All right, getting pretty close to 170. Remember during the last live stream when I asked everybody what's the most tedious and thing that they hate about homebrewing? I still stand behind my. This is it. Chilling your wort. Also, it just occurred to me that I'm committing one of those cardinal homebrewing sins. I'm in flip flops, and I have hot water coming from the chiller out on the ground. So we'll have to see how that works out for me. See here. Okay, still close enough to noon. We're a wee heavy. Hell yeah. I need to try no chill. I I need to try no chill. Okay. I'll look into that. Mara, which one was a great video? Which one are you talking about? I'm gonna head over to. Can't wait to taste this one. Oh, Michael, I said hello. Hops. $140. I am kind of jealous of the guys that live up around where it snows a lot, where they can just take their cattle and put it into some snow. I don't think we need this in there anymore. Just cover the pot, wrap the lid with plastic wrap, let it cool. You do know that I know chill like a lot here, right?
You always say that, but here you are chilling constantly.
Do video on a wee heavy. Wow, this wee heavy is creamy, and I wasn't expecting that. I wouldn't expect that either. Malty, yeah. Creamy, no. One day I'm gonna do this Scout of Chills. Here in Texas, we have a brewery called Real Ale. And they have a wee heavy, and it's sold in well, it used to be sold in like the 22-ounce bomber. Just recently got to where putting them in 12-ounce can or 12-ounce bottles, and so you would time travel if you drunk a whole 22-ounce bottle. Wake up the next day
On the couch.
on the couch because you were snoring too loud. Not that I would know.
That's your best case scenario.
Not that I would know.
That was fun.
Right. Fingering. So we're up to like right here with the hop puck. Closing in on 120. Now with that thing out of the way, go right here in the middle. Cheers, guys.
That's it. No more fries.
All right. Well, we're closing in on 110. I'm probably going to go ahead and end the stream here pretty quickly. There's no sense in you guys watching until I stall out at 100 and you know handle it from there. But thank you guys so much for joining in on the discussions, coming in, hanging out with us today. We really appreciate everything that you guys do. Um, if you haven't subscribed yet and you're still hanging around, please subscribe. Please like this. Pass the word along. Know about us and all that. Everything really helps. Um, look forward to some interesting things happening to the channel that I can't really discuss too much yet. But really, really soon, guys, we're fixing to do some pretty cool stuff. Thank you guys so much for coming again, and cheers.